Dinkas, the Ayambas, and many others. I heard even the Akwangas attempted to declare independence prior to this season, prior to this new generation, and it did not work. Why did it not work? Because they were not empowered by a people. Our strength is in the people, and the oppressor, the colonial government, is very well aware of this, and they're playing with information. I wouldn't want us, I would say for us to not to be moved by what the Canadian professor has published, and it is going wide, but for us to treat it with every seriousness that it deserves. Why? Because the consciousness of what a people are, the government of Yaoundé or the Cabal, the colonial government, is aware that if you influence the people in their mind, you can influence their thought, you can influence their actions. And their objective is to turn the people at home against us. And that's why you find Emmanuel Ashu Agbo on I think it's Prime Television or Media Television, whichever the televisions are already many in the Cameroons, purportedly insinuating a ground zero command. They want to implant some loftiness on the home front because they know from that angle they will be able to manipulate. So it's important. That's why the president is coming out at this critical time, not just to speak and set on some policy, but also to re-educate our people on the technicalities involved. You would just go through the document and understand exactly why the interim government was disinclined from onset. The last and second clause, which I think we cannot let go of that. And with your permission, let's go with it and just crush it out. This is something which we cannot let go of it. Listen to what a professor, this is a professor, and he should know best that such statements are not only insinuating, but are offensive. In his number 2, it says in 2022, that means in the now. Now he's observing the now and say any immediate independence option. It says neither African Union nor United Nations members, let alone the regime in Yaoundé, have any appetite to consider a process that might lead to an immediate vote for an independent Amazonia. This statement is an insult. If I'm in a debate room, Dr. Mungwa, you want to talk?
Yes,
I'm going to stop him. I'm stopping him. We start the debate.
It's okay.
Dr. Mungwa,
yes, it's very, very offensive. And you can see why La République, for since Resolution 684 was issued by the U.S. Senate, they have never made mention of it. Yet, in the past 48 hours, ever since this so-called university teacher made that pronouncement, it is all over the place. That is the tactic of La République du Cameroun. So La République du Cameroun is now replacing the U.S. Senate, which is essentially the U.S. government and all its institutions. Resolutions that were put forward by the U.S. government, they've pushed it aside, and they've taken this this monologue from some Canadian college or university. That's a lecturer. He is now the superior mind of La République. And you can see the treachery in that attitude and even the write-up. I won't be surprised that write-up was put together by this lecturer and the Cameroon government to discredit Resolution 684 and discredit the Swiss-led process. That is La République for you. These are all, it's like a mafia strategy. And thank God that we are 61 years old in this business. They think that when La République tries, when you partner with some white person somewhere in a university, because that's the highest thing you can be in La République is a university professor. When you attend professorship, you are just close to God. They think that you are the most intelligent. not knowing that when you take the risk of being a university professor, it's not even equal to somebody who digs a trench, because that person has a higher risk than being a university professor. In the reality of things, what risk does it take? Nothing. But this is the person that they want to portray to us. That look at him, he's a university professor. Everybody in La Republic, they all admire university professors. That's the only people who can do anything. And they want to use that to
Now,
change our mind. Don't accept it.
now,
Complete
now, Dr.
trash.
Mungwa, as we navigate towards the end in the next 6 minute maximum, this show is up. We might not even take calls. The purpose is there's a lot of work going on now. This is a critical week for Amazonia. We are getting into the grand finale of the county draft, which is the federal capital. You know what a capital of a nation means. This draft, from my vantage point, is more a nation coming together to hype the capital, to protect and empower the capital. Because if you take the capital of a nation, you have taken over the nation. And we are from when we look at what is happening in the federal capital of the nation of Amazonia, as I speak to you right now, every patriotic Amazonian must be provoked. And to prove that we are vexed is not to despise it, is not to divide it, is not to follow the inclination of those who have chosen to divide and to conquer us, but it is to use the only strategy that is available and that is working for us now, and which is the draft. The draft did it before, the draft has always do it. And we want to invest our faith that this year the draft for the federal capital will do it again. To conclude on that, Dr. Mungwa, on this point very briefly, you have a professor that understands language and that knows the legal basis of every sentence, is writing cognizant of research and the legalities and the UN resolutions, looking into the eyes of the peoples of the former British Southern Cameroons and telling them your idea of independence provoked those who have colonized you. This is clear evidence that this individual, whoever, whatever he thinks he is, as is not is it has been bought and he is biased, and we are saying so because we know the objective of this information is to influence narratives, first of all in the international community, and also to manipulate our people. During wartime, we've taken great interest on this. Misinformation and disinformation is a strategy. Putin has employed it. The East is employing it. Misinformation is used during wartime, and Cameroon is doing everything to take us out of our discussion, our debate, and then to excite those who have been lazy to investigate the legality and the historicity of our movement, that there is a need for a referendum. The first referendum in 1961 was a fraud, and any idea of a referendum is a no. You've heard. I hope that will be the articulation of the president as well, but you've heard the Secretary of State for Communication saying the exact same thing. Thank you very much, Lady Casey, for allowing me to join you. Thank you, Dr. Mungwa. Perhaps you would want to make your closing remark. I know Fako County is waiting for a lot of people. There's a special workshop ongoing and other things. And we will immediately send the handbill of the president's address to the nation on Thursday out. We're calling on every Amazonian, those who are in the platforms where we work on it, to join us as we plan towards this. This is important that we send a rebuttal to whatever is happening right now and to use the voice of the president on Thursday. And that entails collectivism from you all. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Okay. So just to add one more point on that, so-called professor, don't you find it a little bit curious that these 10 points just came out at a time when they were holding these supposedly secret meetings in Canada? If it was an excerpt from a previous article that was written by this professor, you say, yeah, this is somebody who's been doing research on Amazonia and had these ideas a long time ago. But for some mysterious reasons, this professor only showed up at this time. These are all concocted with La République du Cameroun. They had planned it a long time. They had a timeline for it. They had said to themselves, the moment we get out of this Swiss-led process, we are going to bring this voodoo meeting and we'll all sit down and they'll bring this white guy because he's a professor and he'll come and throw words here and there and put, a referendum somewhere, and this will entice the Ambazonians to believe that we have a genuine process. No, 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 no. I'm not even sure. I hope he's a professor, but I don't think, if you see the language that he has used, to see how biased he's been, you don't believe that this is somebody who's actually a professor who gives an opinion based on fact that he has observed, unequivocally.
All right, yeah.
So I would like to. You want me to end up now? You still have some more questions to go.
No, you
Okay.
just give your closing
Okay.
remark. If that was it, then we are good to go.
I have a few points. The closing remarks. Saturday is the federal capital, a federal territory. We are going to draft, and I want to make Ambazonians know that we are all part of the federal territory. So anybody who is an Ambazonian is a part of the federal territory. So you have to draft like you are drafting in your own county. So that's the first point. The second point I want to say is that we are here, no retreat, no surrender. The IG, Dr. Sako, and the cabinet, and all Ambazonians behind us, there will be no retreat and no surrender. We have to take, we must acquire recognition with or without a dialogue. Whatever is happening in Canada is dead on arrival. Whoever took part in the Canadian charade is an unwelcome citizen in Amazonia. These are all enemies of Amazonia. As the weeks or days and weeks come, we are going to identify all those who went to that conference. And we want to let Amazonians know that these are all people who are going out secretly to sell us. We never send them to Canada, and they are never going to bring that message to Amazonia. So that's the message I have for everybody. Thank you and goodbye.
Yes, Lady Casey, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mungwa. Thank you, Secretary of State. Thank you, Taha Padikin, for joining us and bringing this to our attention as we, discuss the interim government position and the way forward and what the interim government is doing this evening. By the Secretary of State for Communication IT in much detail. And I would implore all Ambazonians who have been watching us that if you missed the show, if you know anybody who wasn't part of this evening, should go to come back and rewatch this on ABC website or watch this on our Facebook page and on YouTube, on all the social media, and it will be rebroadcasted on ABC satellite TV. And not to forget that the president will be out on Thursday, 8 p.m. Amber time, to talk to us as a leader, as our people, as a leader of the interim government, to answer your questions. Since there is no town hall this Thursday, the president will be live on ABC Amber TV to talk to Ambazonians, talk to us, to give us hope. Like you all know that the 1st of October address was so full of inspiration, was motivating, was educating, and we have to continue in that same energy this Thursday. So come with your questions, come to participate, come to contribute, and come to learn and listen with an open mind, because there is no leader in the liberation struggle that has been this consistent despite facing unprecedented challenges beyond expectation from within and without, and he's remained consistent and with the Amazonian people. And because this is backed by the Amazonian people, we have a system and a structure that is working, that is serving the purpose of our liberation struggle, and we must continue to strengthen and energize it and inspire every one of us as we continue in this process. And like Dr. Mungwa said, no surrender until liberation. No more excuses. Let us get on the train and join Vaco County also this Saturday. That will keep reminding us. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining us this evening. Remain blessed and remain focused and remain steadfast in our liberation fight. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Awa! Awa! Ha! Nation of hustlers, you rocking with them man with them call go getter. A real music Taliban donor. Feel it, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. We need peace. Oh, we want justice. Dialogue is the way out. Dialogue is the way out. We want peace. Oh, we want justice. Dialogue is the way out. Dialogue is the way out. Hey, my Bamenda, see what did happen for Bamenda, The born house, they kidnap man, the rebel man, for kwakwa, Make I take you now to Kumba, Domo the gun now for Kosala, People don't run come out for Ekona, Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya, my lord. We need peace. Oh, we want justice. Dialogue is the way out. Dialogue is the way out. We want peace. Oh, we want justice. Dialogue is the way out. Dialogue is the way out. So cool. Picking them the die, you know go see for television. This kind of news, you know go hear for radio station. Innocent people, the one got that for upstation. Kumbaya, my lord. We need peace. Oh, we want justice. Dialogue is the way out. Dialogue is the way out. The way out. Cadavere, 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 cadavere. Gabuda cadavere, 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 cadavere. Sato cadavere, 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 cadavere. Munyenge don cadavere, 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 cadavere.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa with untold stories, Africa's best.